So, welcome back to another episode. And today we're going to talk about video games that we haven't finished. Video games that have haunted us over the years that we haven't finished. So, what we've actually created here is our bucket list of video games that we want to finish before we die. And that's kind of funny to say, but you guys must be like this as well. It's games in your backlog. You're always like, man, I hope I can get to this game one day. So after the video, definitely leave a video response or a comment below and tell us what your, some of your bucket list games are. Games that you actually want to finish before you die. So I'll just start off with my first one here.
Okay.
And it is Policenauts.
Ooh, good one.
Such a cool game, and I gotta thank a friend of mine, Baruti, for bringing me over the PlayStation 1 version of it with the English translation built in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's all actually translated, and I started to play it. I got past the first disc, and then I just didn't play it again. You know how that happens?
That happens all the time. You get distracted. I'm gonna get into that too.
Yeah.
You get distracted somehow. Like it doesn't make sense. You're really into it.
Totally
And then
into
just
it.
you get something. They go, ooh, shiny. There's a new toy, and you get distracted and you forget to go back.
Yeah, I just like, oh
hate
yeah,
that.
some other things came up, and I never got back to it. It's one that I want to get. I know this is the Saturn version. The PlayStation 1 version is back here somewhere. I gotta go dig that up again. I gotta finish that. Gonna just drive me crazy. One day I'll have to do it.
That's a good one too. Actually, I wouldn't mind playing through both of those someday.
Yeah, see? Exactly. Add it to your bucket list, pal.
It's on there. It's on there.
What do you got?
All right, my first one, and it's in. If you've ever played, for guys who like the Shadow Hearts series, I love that series. I've played all of them. Little known, Kudelka. This was in fact the first part in that series.
Is it?
Very, very, there's tons of references in the Shadow Hearts games to this, but yeah, this was the first part. And I bought it on eBay, I got it minty fresh, but I've never had time to get around to playing it.
Yeah.
And every time I'm like, well, what should I play right now? Something comes up. It's one of those situations.
And you're a big Shadow Hearts guy. I've never been
massive.
into it.
I loved that series.
Yeah. I've never been into it at all. So
Tamara
I don't know
and I
anything
played
about
through
it.
them all. We played through the whole series, and they were really well done. Great stories, and I liked the combat system with the little timer wheel.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
This is where it all begins, and so for those in the know, they love this game and they say it's great. And I have to finish this because I want to know the whole series.
Yeah.
And this one is supposed to be an excellent entry, and of course the beginning. So it's one I have to get to.
Definitely, and that leads me into the sequel to Secret of Mana that we got, and we never got the sequel, and we were promised it. It was in so many video game magazines back then, showing the import version.
Why did they do that to us so much?
It was this one especially.
Oh,
and
man.
anybody from our generation remembers this
Yes.
game especially. Seiken Densetsu 3. The game that we never got, and we all thought we were getting by Square. Man, I was so bummed out about this. I remember the day-to-night system they had, and everything. The graphics looked so much better. I actually bought the soundtrack to this and used to listen to it all the time, expecting this game to come out, thinking, oh, listen to this music, and the music is really good.
So good.
Expecting it to come out. It never came out, and it never has come out. But a fan translation came out, and I've tried to start playing on emulator, and I'm not somebody who can really sit on my computer and play an old school game. I have a hard time with it. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I need the actual cartridge. And
Yeah,
and
you're
the
like
system.
me. You want the old hardware,
Yeah.
the real controller, and
And I gotta thank Chargeback Forward,
Hey.
Mr. Big Mike, because I would have never known about this game, and it is
oh, you kidding?
Secret of Mana 2. Didn't you see this?
That's gorgeous.
By Time Walk Games. And what they do is they actually, bring the translated ROM, put it into a nice packaging, translate all the instructions, do everything, the
Oh my
box,
God, look at that.
everything perfectly, yeah. I haven't opened it up yet. It's so damn nice. I'm like, but I will. And so yeah, I can actually play this game on the Super Nintendo.
That's perfect.
Cartridges, has maps in here, has the whole
Oh my
shebang.
God.
So for old school guys like us, we can play Secret of Mana 2.
And now you're adding to my bucket list again. What are you doing?
I
I'm
know.
gonna have to get that too now.
I know, very
That's
cool.
unbelievable. All right, this one is one that I have been in love with for a long time, and I've played most of it so many times. The Legend of Oasis for the Sega Saturn. It's an awesome game. It's part of the Thor series in Japan. Here we had Beyond Oasis for the Genesis,
By Yuzo Koshiro, yeah, it was his company.
and then Legend of Oasis. But this This one specifically, I remember when Willow Video.
Yeah.
I rented it back in the day when I first had my Saturn and when it first came out. And it's a Zelda-style top-down view, hand-drawn animation, gorgeous game, great music.
Yeah.
But I always get up to this one dungeon and then I stop. I don't know why. It's a
Was it
fairly
dungeon
tough
hard,
It
is it?
is a hard dungeon, and I think I kind of kept running into one roadblock and not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
And of course, back in the day, especially before there were game facts and walkthroughs, I just get frustrated and leave it. And now I just need to go back because I want to see the end of this because I love it so much.
Yeah.
It's just such a really fun, awesome game, and I love my 2D.
Yeah, me too.
And I
Me too.
have to do this.
Yeah.
But it's just, again, a matter of time. But this is definitely really high up on my bucket list. I have to finish it. Legend of Oasis, if you have a Saturn, you better have this.
Okay, I got just a couple more, some honorable mentions. Final Fantasy 12. And my story about this game is when I first played it, I played 25 hours in, I didn't like the game. That was my initial reaction. I was like, I don't like this game. It feels like how strange as to say, it feels like an online game.
Well, a lot of people had their rhubarb rubbed the wrong way on
Yeah.
that. They really did. Never rub another man's rhubarb.
Yeah, so but the weird thing, this is the kind of game that over the years has grown on me. And now I actually think it's a brilliant game, and I've gone back quite a few times to restart it. I always get about 20 hours in, and I just kind of like fade off. And I don't ever continue on, but I really like the game, and I really need to give it another chance. Final Fantasy 12. And my last honorable mention is the Dot Hack series. Did you remember this on the PlayStation 2?
I do, and was there an anime tied into it?
The
or-
anime came with it. There's DVDs
That's
included
right.
included in every one.
Okay, yeah.
So how it works is there's the first game, and you have your save data, and then you bring it in to the second game, and then that save data into the third game. So your character goes all the way through.
Oh, wow.
And I've only finished the first game. Yeah, strange.
That's very odd, especially for you.
Yeah, well, I didn't have these games were very hard to find.
This is
the rest
true.
of the series. And also, as Rob was saying, it comes with a DVD, in each one that explains the story of it all. So this is one that I want to, so I'm kind of jealous of all the people out there who've actually played it all the way through. I just want to see what that's all about. I was always fascinated to release 4 games. It's a very Japanese thing to do.
And the way that they did it with the anime and everything, that's just so cool.
Very cool. So hopefully Dot Hack can get to that, so yeah.
And I've got one more to mention as well, although I don't even own it, and that's the thing.
What?
And you do, but I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Earthbound.
Oh, right.
Earthbound, I know, and I will not play it till I own it. And like this, I want it big box and everything. I won't play it till I own it, but I have to. You lent it to me once when we first started hanging out.
I was crazy back then. If I knew how much this would be worth, I would have never.
Oh,
lent
but
it
you
to
knew me, I would always have taken care of it.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
I played about halfway through, and again, it was one of those ones that kind of. I think it was because we were so busy gaming every day, I didn't have a lot of alone time to do it. So I never finished it, and I regret that to this day, and I need to find a copy. And when I do, I will sit down and play it. And I'm not playing the Virtual Console release. I have to play it on the Super
Oh,
Nintendo.
come on. We can play on the gamepad and the Wii U maybe eventually when that comes out. Maybe if that comes out.
It's tempting, but I really, me, I'm like you. I want the original hardware, But
So expensive.
Empty the pockets. I'll have to save up some tax returns. Or
So
something.
ridiculous how
Oh, I
expensive the game's
know.
got,
The only hope is that when it comes out on Virtual Console, maybe the price might come down a little.
No.
Probably
Hey,
not.
and it's a classic game. Is it an overhyped game? It isn't. It is just that classic. I finished
It
it
is.
back in the day when it first came out. And
Cursed myself for when it was released and there were copies lying around all the stores, but we didn't have money back then.
not to get. If we knew how much Earthbound would have been worth, no, I thought it was in the bargain bin. I know stores
Oh my
been
God.
buying in the bargain bin.
Oh my god!
Yeah, like for $10 because it can sell it.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
I know. So, anyways, guys, we've kind of gone on a little bit here, but what we want to know is, what are some of your bucket list games? Like, what are some games that you have to finish, in your lifetime before you move on to the next world?
Those ones that sit on your shelf, stare at you, and haunt you.
Yeah, 100%. So that's some of ours, guys. So, anyways, guys, until next time.